Volume 4 of the Breslov Research Edition of Likutey Moharan, these black books here. You'll find an amazing story from the Talmud, Masechet Bechorot, the story of Rabbi Yoshua ben Hanania and his encounter with the 60 wise men of Athens. And this story in the Gemara, Rabbi Nachman, through Likutey Moharan lesson 23 to 32, he dissects and delves into the hidden deeper meaning behind the arguments they had between them. And Rav Noson, in his Likutey Halachot, Hilchot Shabbat, halacha number 6, which has been translated, like I said, at the back of this volume 4 edition of Likutey Moharan, he concludes and completes the parts of the amazing story, the beginning part of how Rabbi Yoshua ben Hanania traveled to meet the wise men of Athens, parts of disarguments which Rabbi Nachman did not delve into, and also the closing part of the story. Rav Noson completed all of that in an amazing depth, which is absolutely phenomenal. And I'd like to right now just explain, bring Rav Noson's explanation of one of the arguments between the wise men of Athens and Rabbi Yoshua ben Hanania. So in this edition, volume 4 of the Likutey Moharan, at the back, there's a back appendix from the back of the book, page number 15. The wise men of Athens, they asked Rabbi Yoshua ben Hanania, what of the person who lent money to his neighbor and had a very hard time collecting it? Why did he then lend money to others? Shouldn't he have learned his lesson the first time? Don't let this surprise you, Rabbi Yoshua answered them. This person is like someone who goes into a marsh and cuts down reeds till he has piled up a bundle. He wants to lift it up but can't. What does he do? He continues cutting, all the while piling new bundles upon the first one until someone comes along to help him. Then they will lift the entire load, including the first bundle. Fine. This is the part of the Gemara. Rav Noson, in an amazing way, explains the deeper meaning behind this. He explains that the idea of reeds is the Torah and Mitzvot and prayers that a person does. And anyone who's alive today will attest that after entering serving Hashem, there becomes a type of a heaviness and a dryness and a difficulty in continuing davening and learning and doing mitzvot. Initially, when a person begins his tshuva process or his beginning to serve Hashem, there is a great light helping him to get up in the morning on time, to daven with joy and enthusiasm and with strength. But this light, initial light, for each person is different, is then taken away, and a person is being tested on their own to see how they will manage. And most people at this point or give up totally or continue half-heartedly, and some eventually do unfortunately give up. Rav Noson explains that these reeds that he's mentioning, when a person, the question that was being asked about the money and the answer of Yoshua of the reeds is referring to a person's mitzvot and Torah study and prayer, that a person sees he can't lift it up. In other words, he feels dead. He feels like his tefillin, his mitzvot, his tzitzit, his prayers have no value. He feels they're so bogged down and heavy and drained, and he's out of it. And when he's doing the mitzvot, he feels so blemished in front of Hashem, and he begins to feel as if Hashem needs my mitzvot, as if Hashem is appreciating him, as if Hashem is using what I'm doing. I feel so bad about myself and about my mitzvah performance. I feel that it's not just helping, it's probably causing annoyance to Hashem. I feel like I'm in the way, as if to say, God forbid. So this is the idea of what they were asking. Someone who lent money, in other words, all mitzvot, Rav Noson explains, is that Hashem basically is waiting for you to pay him back. Hashem brought you into this world and he gave this to you. You're a mekabel, you're a receiver, and your paying back is to do the mitzvot with joy and with fervor, so that you'll be able to lift it back up the energy Hashem gave you in this world, to give it back in the format of Torah study, mitzvot, and prayer, and to elevate it, to bring it back up. But to elevate it, you need to do the mitzvah with joy and happiness, etc., and with concentration, and it's not happening. So the person, Hashem, who lent the person money, okay, why does he keep on lending more? And the first person didn't pay him back, so why does he keep on paying back? Why does he keep on lending out money? It's also the idea of the marsh, the reeds. The person cuts down one reed, and he can't lift it up by himself. Why does he continue cutting reeds? This is what Rabbi Shua answered. The same idea. What's the idea? That the person who cut down one reed, and he can't lift it up by himself, he'll look pretty stupid if he waits for somebody to come along to help him with one reed. Because on his own he can't lift it up. He's close to, but he can't. So another person feels uncomfortable to help him with just one reed. If it's now 2, 3, 4, a bundle of reeds, then it makes sense that he needs help. There's a rule Rashi brings down that a person on his own can lift up a third of the load when he's helped by somebody else. 2 people, in other words, it doesn't mean they lift up double, but something scientifically miraculously happens that 2 people can lift up 3 times the amount that a person on his own can lift up. Meaning, when you have help and assistance, much more can be accomplished than just in ratio to the number of people. It adds up much, much more. So now a person who cut down one reed, he can't lift it up, so he feels a bit idiotic just to wait for that help for just one reed. And if he can get help and assistance for many reeds, so what is he doing anyways? So what does he do in the meantime? He cuts more reeds down until he has a whole bundle, which makes sense that somebody else should come along and help him lift it up, and then he lifts it up. So too, the guy who lends money, this is what Rabbi Shua was saying to the wise men of Athens, the guy who lent money to one person had a hard time collecting it from one person, and he feels uncomfortable running after just one person to get the money back. So what does he do? He continues lending out money, and he may encounter other people who will have a hard time paying him back also, but eventually he'll come across a person who will want to help him collect, and he'll use that person justifiably help me collect all the money from all the other people now, and it makes more sense for him to go out after the more people to collect back the money. So the idea is like this, that a person now is having a hard time in Torah study, in davening, and mitzvot performance. So why continue? So he says, Rav Noson, you need in life a tzaddik. A tzaddik, besides being a guide, the tzaddikim, because they're so connected to Hashem, they have the ability to help you lift up your Torah study and your prayer and your mitzvot, which you feel are done heavy and out of it, and you feel miserable and blemished, etc. The tzaddikim are there to help lift up your tiny little devotions, because they're able to find the good points in what you're doing and to help you lift them up. However, a tzaddik won't come by just to help you for one prayer, for one Torah study, for one mitzvah. You need something which is considerable, something which makes sense to help. So in the meantime, a person continues davening, heaviness, Torah study with heaviness, mitzvah performance with heaviness, keep on doing more and more, as opposed to saying, I might as well not do anything, if anyways it's so heavy and burdensome, why should I just trouble myself? No, keep on going until you have a bundle of reeds, you have something which is significant, and then when the tzaddikim finally do come along to help you lift up all of your devotion, all of your prayer, all of your Torah study, it'll be a significant amount. The tzaddikim will want to help you to elevate everything. So in line, basically, bottom line is that nothing is ever lost. Keep on going, even if it's hard and heavy. Instead of just dropping it, keep on going. And in the meantime, asking Hashem to send me a true tzaddik who will eventually, when the time comes, lift up my bundle of reeds, lift up everything up to Hashem.